Part 1. A grand ambition, it was a lazy Saturday. Tom, a man whose culinary skills peaked at making toast, was watching a fancy cooking show. The chef made it look so easy. "I can do that," Tom declared to his empty apartment. He decided to cook coq au vin for his girlfriend, Sarah, who was coming over in 2 hours. Part 2. The recipe revelation. Tom found a recipe online. It had 23 steps, ingredients he couldn't pronounce, and required a braising technique. "How hard can it be?" he muttered, printing out and vowing to follow it exactly. Part 3. The first mistake. The recipe said marinate the chicken in wine overnight. Tom didn't have overnight. He decided to speed up the process by putting the chicken and a whole bottle of wine in the blender. "It's just marinating faster," he reasoned, creating a pink, chunky smoothie. Part 4. The sizzling start. He poured the chicken wine puree into a hot pan. It didn't sizzle, it gurgled ominously. A wave of steam smelling like a vineyard accident filled the kitchen. The smoke detector blinked awake, but decided to give him a chance. Part 5. The vegetable vendetta. Next were the vegetables. The recipe called for finely diced onions. Tom attacked the onion like it had personally offended him. Tears streamed down his face, not from emotion, but from the onion's vengeful fumes. Pieces flew everywhere, on the floor, in his hair. Part 6. The herb confusion. The recipe said a bouquet garni of thyme and bay leaf. Tom didn't have time. He used dried oregano from a packet that expired in 2018. For the bay leaf, he wasn't sure, so he picked a leaf from his decorative houseplant. Part 7. The flambé fiasco. Step 7. Add a quarter cup of brandy and carefully ignite to flambe. Tom added the entire bottle for good measure. He lit a match and dropped it in. A fireball shot to the ceiling, singing his eyebrows. "Perfect," he coughed, waving away the black smoke. Part 8. The uninvited guest. The doorbell rang. It was his neighbor, Mr. Henderson. "Everything quite all right, Tom? I thought I saw a minor explosion." "Just cooking, Mr. Henderson," Tom said, hiding his scorched forehead behind the door. Part 9. The great lid debate. The recipe said cover and simmer for 1 hour. Tom couldn't find the right lid for the pot. He refused to give up. He tried a plate, too small, a cutting board, too big, and finally settled on sealing it tightly with aluminum foil. Part 10. The sticky situation. While the stew simmered, he decided to make mashed potatoes. He put the potatoes on to boil and forgot about them. The water evaporated, and the potatoes burned onto the bottom of the pot, creating a smell of profound regret. Part 11. The smoke signal. Black smoke poured from the potato pot. This time, the smoke detector could no longer ignore its duty. It screeched a loud, piercing alarm. Tom waved a towel at it frantically, only succeeding in fanning the smoke from the potatoes into the smoke from the chicken. Part 12. The rescue attempt. Desperate, Tom opened the kitchen window. A gust of wind blew the recipe card directly into the pot of coq au vin. He fished it out with a fork, now a soggy, wine-soaked mess with the word Step 19 barely visible. Part 13. The icing on the cake. He remembered Sarah loved dessert. He found a cake mix. It only needed oil and eggs. In his panic, he accidentally used balsamic vinegar instead of oil. He didn't notice and put the dark, strange-smelling batter in the oven. Part 14. The final taste test. The hour was up. He lifted the foil on the main dish. It was a murky, brownish-purple stew with a film on top. He bravely took a taste. His face went through 5 different emotions: confusion, shock, regret, fear, and finally, acceptance of defeat. Part 15. The doorbell of doom. Ding dong. Sarah was here. Tom looked like a war correspondent from the front lines of the kitchen. There was flour on the ceiling, onion in his hair, and his eyebrows were gone. The kitchen was a disaster zone.